Good afternoon folks, 21st Century Caveman here. Hope everybody's well, I hope everybody's happy. So Saturday afternoon here, just after lunch, and I've decided to scout out one of our local woods. It's actually a country park, and although I've been aware of its existence, I've never been here before. I suppose because it's pretty much on my doorstep, I've always, you know, perhaps wrongly thought that it wouldn't have anything to offer. But I've been on Google Earth and just checked it out in a little bit more detail from an aerial perspective, just to see whether or not there might be some wild camping opportunities here. You know, perhaps an opportunity to do a bit of stealth camping, that sort of thing. So anyway, I'm going to do some recording as we go, and obviously I'll take you with me. I've got some food with me, hoping to have some egg and vegetarian sausage cobs with me. I've got, you know, my little kettle with me, and we'll have a cup of tea, that sort of thing. I'll get back to you in a bit when I've got a bit more to tell you. Cheers. Now, when I had a look at on Google Earth, I could see that this place was, you know, crisscrossed with paths, and obviously these places are very popular with walkers, understandably so. The thing is, of course, the fact that you know, your camping opportunities will not be where the paths are. You've got to stray off the beaten track, as it were, and just check out places other people perhaps wouldn't go. I mean, need to have a little bit of a poke around, really. I've walked several hundred metres, there's still a road going down there, and just a case of poking around, really, just seeing what's around, and just checking places out. I suppose the other thing when you come to a place like this is the fact that you've got to have somewhere to park, because one of the things which will concern me is leaving my vehicle in a reasonably unfamiliar place and being worried all night whether I'm going to come back in the morning and things been trashed, broken into, that sort of thing. So I think that's the other consideration. As I say, you just got to be prepared to stray off the paths and just check out places where people typically wouldn't go. Obviously, a bit of common sense, really. So there's another quite well-defined path down there. And that's the problem with these sorts of places, unless they're absolutely huge. It's just very difficult trying to find a nice quiet area where you won't be disturbed by people walking the dogs, that sort of thing. It's quite interesting when you come across these little game trails and you wonder what little creatures are scurrying around down those when it gets dark. I was also quite surprised actually to find that a lot of this country park, it's quite undulating actually, it's not flat. There's quite a few hills here, which surprised me. So I've actually been having a good old walk around for about half an hour now, and I thought, you know, I'm starting to get to a place where it's a little bit more secluded, only to find that there's a bloody little track in front of me. Looks as if it's for vehicles as well. In fact, somebody's just walked by. So obviously I'll keep pressing on, but I'm not feeling ever so confident that there's going to be any discreet places here to camp. But you know, it's we'll spend the afternoon here, we'll spend a few hours here, have a little poke around, and just see what happens. There might be. So we're out on another path now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to tackle this systematically. I'm going to check out the left hand side first, which is where I've been for the past half an hour or so. And then what I'm going to do, once I've checked that out for suitable spots, I'm going to come over to this side here, okay. So far I've actually only found one place. It's under a great big fir tree, but it's right next to a path. So there's absolutely no point in even thinking about setting up a camp there. You know, come come first light. You know, you'll have somebody bloody walking by with the dog and it pissing up the side of your tarp or something. Crapping where you're about to make yourself a bacon butty. But anyway, so I'm going to press on over here now. A little bit of heath here. Just going to have a poke around here. Big old fallen tree here. Let's see what's down here. I've misplaced my selfie stick. I'm not entirely sure where it is, so I'm actually holding the camcorder by hand, which is not the easiest and most convenient way of doing it, but at least it gets some footage for you. Not really sure about camping here, but I mean certainly, you know, I could get myself some lunch down here. I mean, this place is doable. It's probably the best I've seen so far. In fact, I can hear somebody running down here or across there, which suggests there's a path or something up there. So perhaps it may not be as ideal as I thought it would be. So this area looks quite nice here. You're not sort of bushwhacking through brambles. However, I can hear voices and dogs barking, so that suggests there's a path very nearby. You can also see something over there, I'm not quite sure what it is. Probably a road or a car park or something, I'd imagine. Not quite sure. Let's have a little scout around. Right, okay, well I've come back to a part of the wood I came across earlier. Starting to get a bit hungry, a bit thirsty, need a nice cup of tea, and I need to have a bite to eat. I've struggled to find somewhere, certainly in the part of the park which I've been walking, I've struggled to find somewhere that is really ideal for camping. Yeah, you could do stealth camping pretty much anywhere, but you know, the potential for you know, a dog walker tripping over you is quite likely. And so anyway, look, you know, haven't come across anywhere yet. You know, still a few hours of daylight left, so I'm going to have a cup of tea, going to get myself a bite to eat, and I'll get back to you in a bit. So just looking forward to a nice cup of Yorkshire tea, and I know my videos I keep banging on about it, but I really do love it. Get back to you in a minute. Cob, vegetarian sausage, egg with lashings of brown sauce. So I've just got some more sausages on the go, and I've just done it this way because if I do two at the same time, then the second one normally goes cold by the time I've eaten the first. Get back to you in a bit. This tastes absolutely beautiful. My God, this is nice. The other great thing I like when I come outdoors is to bring the thermos mug for me. Now I got these, I got 3 of these actually. They cost £1.50 from Asda. And I made this cup of tea about half an hour ago, just before I started, you know, making my grub. And you know what? It's still absolutely scalding hot, and it's, you know, the old enamel mugs, you know, they have a place, I suppose, in the sense that they are pretty bulletproof. You know, you can ding them, you can, you know, bang them, and you know, the road bursts. But you know, my tea would have gone cold after about 5 minutes or so out here. This is still scalding hot. Fantastic. Right, here's number 2, and that'll be going down the hatch imminently. Right, okay folks, I've had a really nice meal. It's time to pack up and continue on my little trek this afternoon. In fact, it's actually around about tea time now. So one of the things you will notice is the fact that I always take my crap with me, okay? I've run off what little oil there was from the pan into those tissues, which I used to get the grease off my sausages and my egg. And you'll also notice that I've started using paper plates now. They're lighter, they're much easier to manage and much easier to dispose of. And obviously if I had a fire I'd just burn them, okay? But clearly I'm in a country park and I wouldn't dream of having a flame fire. But anyway, I'm going to pack up and I'll get back to you in a bit. Quite an interesting little structure here, look. Looks like a little seat. Hee hee.